Greetings, I'm Charlotte Kriska, and welcome back to me making an outfit for the opening day of Avengers Campus! Woo! I know that was on June 4th, and this video is releasing well after June 4th, and I'm sure you're all wondering, what happened? Did I go to the opening day of Avengers Campus? What did I wear if I went to the opening day of Avengers Campus? And all those answers will be slowly coming toward you as I release more of these videos in the series that I've been calling my Ant Boot Project. Or you may already know the answers because you follow me on Instagram. Regardless, I'm still going to show you how I made my outfit that celebrates both Bugs Land and Avengers Campus in one. And today I'm showing you how I made the bodice. So the bodice, as I mentioned in the first video, is the bodice of a robel'anglaise inspired. So I altered it a lot. But the base of it is still kind of there, which is why I needed the 1780 stays to help create the shape for the bodice. And you'll kind of, if you're familiar with the robel'anglaise, you'll see what design elements stayed, which ones went, and if you're not familiar with it, then welcome to me making a cool, nifty bodice for my outfit. Yeah, so I think let's just get into it. Time to craft. I am exactly where you saw me last time. Because the stays kind of create a new shape, I wanted to make sure that shape matched up with the bodice pattern I created. And it didn't, so I had to cut that down a little bit to make sure that everything fit perfectly. And then it was time to cut out the fabric. Here I'm using an ivory cotton that I had left over from another project. And actually, fun fact, I've never cut on this small patch of floor in my room before, so enjoy watching the cats be confused to this change. Yeah. I wanted to make sure the pattern pieces all have the grain running the same way. Then I weigh the patterns down with my super official pattern weights, aka books. Yeah, I use books because they're always just everywhere, and particularly cookbooks, we have a lot of those and they come in various shapes and sizes, and it's really helpful for pattern weights. You know? And there's the cats. Hello, cats. For the main bodice fabric, the part that you do see, I am using some fabric remnants left over from who knows when. This is a polyester fabric, much as I try not to use that these days because it's not very eco-friendly. It was a remnant I had laying around and I wanted to use it for something. So here we go. This is the Casa Collection satin fabric. It is easily available at Joann's, and I used to make so many projects out of this type of fabric. It comes in so many different colors, and it's like a slight step up from just using cotton in terms of when you're making costumes. So that's why I have a whole lot of remnants of it in various colors laying around, and maybe eventually I'll use them for something, who knows, but I got to use it for this. The unique thing about the robel'anglaise bodice is that it has these folded parts in the back, and I needed to create those for several reasons. One, aesthetic purposes. That's what their bodice looked like, so that's what this bodice is going to have. I didn't need to alter that out for any reason. Also, it's creating these channels, and those will come into play later on, and you'll see what I utilize them for. So here I'm working with the lining fabric, and this is the very front part of the bodice. So this will have the closure to it, and the robel'anglaise bodice pattern that I'm using, or being inspired by, has this sort of triangular cut out the front of it, up the front of it, and that, hi Gigi, hi, hello, okay. Anyway, and that design okay, bye. Oh, hello. Okay, thank you. Yes, I give you attention. Lots of attention. You need attention. Okay, anyway, so that triangular design piece is crucial to the design of the transforming part of the bodice. So I incorporated that into the lining, mostly because I didn't want to have to create another pattern piece. And then here we have the same thing that I did in the lining, but in the bodice piece, but it has 2 extra triangular pieces to it to create the transforming part of the bodice, which you'll see later.
This is my lining fabric. I'm about to press the seams down, but cat update. She has now turned into a tribble.
Now that everything is nice and pressed, I am just folding over the top 2 edges of the lining and the bodice and putting that together so that it is prepped and ready to start stitching together. And here I'm just doing a kind of a whip stitch of it all together. Bring it in for a closer look here. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. It takes a while because you're trying not to have the thread show on the front side, so it's kind of invisible, but still holding everything nice and neatly together. So, and because I'm doing this by hand, it'll take a while. So cue the TV. This isn't going to be a heavily boned bodice. There's only going to be 4 lengths of boning in the back just to give it some support when I'm wearing it. And the reason why I liked the back panel fold design is because it creates channels which are perfect for boning channels. So here I have marked out where these panels are going to be, and they're slightly different than where these panels are going to be, which are marked out on the other side. This is because this panel is the one that's going to flip up, and it's going to attach to this level and to this part with magnets. So I have to make the tape for the magnet now. And I'm just going to figure out how much tape I need. I'm just going to place it along the outer edge here. But the fun part is we have a metal table. So the magnets stick to it. So to be sure each proper length of the bias tape went back to where it's supposed to be and where it was measured out, I color coded it. And now I'm going to mark out where all the magnets go on them. The other fun thing to remember about magnets is that one side is attracted to another side of a magnet, and if you were to flip it around, it's literally revolted by the other side. So I have to make sure that the correct side is going to attach when I sew them into these strips. Yes, there's a cat here now. I also just realized that I forgot one whole strip.
So I'm gonna, you gotta move. So I finished putting all the magnets into the bias tape. So it's ready to go into the bodice now. I discovered that having the metal table was quite helpful in laying out my magnets and how they're going to line up. There is a method to this madness. But yeah, this metal table was very helpful. And I have magnets left over. Yes. You know, when you're on the last step of a project and it's the worst step because it's sewing on all these tiny little hook and eye fasteners? And then you have a thought. You're more than halfway done with the hooks. And that's about the time that the brain starts going and you realize that these hooks are too close to the edge, that when it folds over to hook into the eye, the back side of the eye pokes out from the edge. So you know what that means? I have to remove all of these because they're so small and so fiddly, and even harder when they're sewn on top of magnets like this little dude here. Anyway, I'm rambling now. 'Tis 2 a.m. And I'm not thrilled by this setback, but at least I didn't sew all of them down and then have my brain kick in. So at least there's that.
And there you have it, the bodice. I know it's not done, or it needs tweaking, because the magnets obviously didn't line up properly, and there were a few other things in the bodice that I needed to alter, but I didn't have time for that, so where you saw it is what I wore. But that's okay, because, you know, it was wearable, and then I can fix it in the future. I think my favorite part about it was being able to take a historical pattern and adapt it to a modern outfit. I love historical patterns. There's some really gorgeous designs out there. So being able to take something old and make it kind of something new, I think is really interesting. And I was glad that it worked out as well as it did for the purpose of this outfit, as well as knowing that it looks good with the shoe. My Spider-Man, or my spider web kerchief, I love it. I realize it's a little on the small side, smaller than I want it to be. So I do plan to completely remake that, maybe add some beads to it to make it a little more spiderweb shimmery, and because I love beads so much. But yeah, that will all be in the future. But for now, that's where it'll be. And then the next videos will be the skirt videos. So those are, the big important videos, and I can't wait for you to see them. So until then, bye.